Sup guys, Heeking here bringing you another review on this week's One Piece. It's been a while since I did a One Piece review, but I think we're reaching the end of this arc and I thought I might as well get into what's going on and just catch up on what's going on now. So currently we got Luffy versus Kataguri, aka Dogtooth, going on in Broly's little mirror world, while all the Straw Hats meanwhile are trying to escape from Big Mom and get to with Sanji and Pudding where they're making the cake on Choco Island. So yeah, this fight, man. This fight is getting very intense. You got both of these guys dodging each other's attacks as best as they can, and both are just stressing it out to the point where even Dogtooth says, you know, no one's ever dodged his attacks like that before, and it's really starting to stress him out. And Luffy's getting stressed out because this dude's just really strong, and he's pretty much copying a lot of Luffy's moves, because in the end of the day, both these characters have the same, at least similar type of Logiel powers apparently. But obviously that's rubber and that's mochi or jelly, I assume, so not a fair comparisons to say the least, but still Luffy is getting stressed out, and you know, you have to wonder how much longer he can keep this up. At the same time, you got Broly there having overheard Luffy's entire plan to Nami, so she knows exactly where the Straw Hats are going, and she contacts Peronio and tells him, who's on Big Mama's shoulder by the way, chasing these guys, where these guys are going to be next. So yeah, this whole plan is kind of going unexpectedly bad every time. It's like every time a new chapter comes out, you know, you think things are going to improve, but they're only getting worse and worse. And with this fight, for example, you got Katakuri with a bloody trident, for Christ's sake, and this thing, it looks like everything it touches just explodes, and that's mostly because of his ability to be able to twist his body and apply force and pressure and strength to it, compared to, you know, other characters when they're using their own fists and stuff. This guy's using a hardcore weapon like that and it's doing all of this damage. I mean, Christ, if it touches Luffy, it's over, I assume. And yeah, you've got one of the interesting things that happens in this chapter is that Katakuri activates Awakening. So yeah, I'm just gonna point out real quick the toilet's next door. So I got people coming upstairs and shit and doing their pissing there. So it really annoys me that the sound is picking this up. So yeah, that explains my sudden expression change from going to happy to slightly pissed off. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, Kataguri's Awakening mode. Yeah, he's got Awakening. He's got Awakening similar to Doflamingo, which surprises the hell out of Luffy, which forces him to go into fourth gear. And we don't see what happens. We don't see if he goes into fourth gear, but I assume that's what's going on since Luffy is doing that. And Katakuri even says, "Oh, fourth gear." And obviously he can see the future. That's one of the things I keep forgetting, that this guy can, technically speaking, see glimpses of the future. Not the full future, but he can see glimpses of it. So he knows where the next attack is coming from. And he obviously knows that Luffy is about to do this. Now, a lot of hints are going that Luffy's gonna, you know, activate his own awakening in this fight. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. Maybe, just maybe, we're gonna get, I don't know, a hint at gear 5 maybe, because like, you know there's gonna be more gears and 4th isn't the last one. So I'm wondering if this is gonna be the case where we're gonna get introduced to gear 5, because Luffy is taking on a very powerful opponent. Now the other side of this could be that Katakuri is gonna attempt to do his own version of 4th gear by copying Luffy, and that's gonna have horrible results, because Luffy, you know, he's powered up by the ability of his rubber abilities, and you know, Katakuri, you know, he's, like I said, he's jelly. So imagine trying to turn into that, and that's a bouncy mode. Jelly's not bouncy, for crying out loud. That's gonna wobble. So I imagine Katakuri might attempt to copy that, and it's gonna backfire on him immensely, because Broly, his sister, is there watching this fight as well as reporting to Big Mom and Peronio that you know, ever since Katakuri was born, he's never fallen down. He's all, you know, he was born, he's sat on a chair, and that's what he's been like. I mean, she praises the hell out of him for being this guy that's never fallen down. So I imagine that's a big foreshadowing and hint at what's about to happen. And Luffy's probably got the idea to trick Katakuri into going into this mode, and hopefully that's gonna work. We'll have to see whether or not it's gonna work, but I imagine that's the key there to defeating him. At the same time, we cut to well, technically we don't really cut to anyone else besides some of the other characters. We cut to what's his name? Oh, Peckham's, who's crying his eyes out at Patro being dead. So I think that's official. Patro is 100% dead. The dude definitely blew himself up. You've got Eggman there, pretty much like complimenting the character who, you know, was begging for his life 5 years ago and now ends up blowing himself up in order to save these pirates' life, who he says will bring on the new dawn. And it makes it very clear to this guy, and he makes it clear to everyone else, that the Straw Hats need to be dealt with immediately. Like, Straw Hat Luffy is the key. He needs to be dealt with because he's extremely unpredictable, unexpected, and dangerous. The amount of accidents that have happened since they showed up is immense. Okay, it doesn't matter whether they had stuff planned out or not. Shit's gone wrong very, very fast, very, very quickly because of the unpredictability, and they need to be dealt with. He makes this very clear to all the others there that they need to find these guys and defeat them. And at the same time, we get a little roll call from what's his name, from Custard, apparently, saying that they lost Bage's ship, and we get a glimpse of Bage on a I don't even know what it's called, what the ship is. It's got guns and lots of them, but they're on their way to Choco Island as well. So Bage is not out. You know, Capone is not out of the game yet, because obviously his wife is with Sanji and Pudding, so he definitely needs to go back and get her as well. So yeah, he's still in this arc, and he's heading to Choco Island now. He's on his ship, he's safe, and he's heading to the island, and they can't be detected for some reason. I don't know if they've hijacked this ship, if it's their own ship, but they can't be detected, so they're safe for the time being. And this chapter ends on an unexpected note of the enemies pretty much talking over the radio and being told that they've, their 1,000 strong men have wiped out the Germa 66, only for it to be revealed that it is the Germa 66 talking to them on the Dendenmushi, back to them, and lying, which is pretty similar to when Sanji did that old little trick when he was talking to Crocodile at the time and pretended to be Mr. Free. So it's the same kind of thing going on here. The nice little parallels and poetic symbolism here between the brothers, that they're sort of carved from the same cloth basically. And you've got the four Germa 66 standing on a pile of defeated enemies, waiting to find out where the Straw Hats are going, and pretty much saying that they're going to be setting out. So it looks like these guys are going to be returning the favor of being saved and saving and helping Sanji and the Straw Hat crew out. We don't see Judge here. At least I assume we don't see Judge. I don't see him in this panel at all. So I don't know if he's been taken prisoner, if he's been captured, or if he's just been knocked out and he's recovering. But yeah, you got these four, deciding to take their kingdom to help the Straw Hats, which is awesome, because the Germa 66 at this point are badass, and I want to see more of them. I want to see them kick ass. So it's nice to see that these guys aren't just all talk. And I know that whole stuff happened beforehand where they were sort of caught unexpectedly and we're like, really? That's it? But no, obviously we discovered that's not actually the case. These guys are a lot stronger than we give them credit for. And it seems to be the case that, yeah, this is all going to climax in a very unexpected finale. The big question now is how much more is this arc going to last? And I do think we're getting to the end. I think that by the time we reach 890, this arc is definitely going to be at its end, because I can't see this stuff going on for much longer. Honestly, I think next chapter we're just going to have all the characters meet up, basically, and maybe get a chapter of Sanji and Pudding interacting and making the cake. And then another chapter of everyone just getting to the island, and another one of just seeing the climax and seeing how that all goes down. But yeah, we are definitely reaching the end of this arc, and it's heating up. It's basically heating up, and it's great. It's great, and I'm having the time of my life reading this. I just really want to get to the Reverie and Wano now. At this point, I think everyone does. We're getting a bit tired, but the consequence of what's happening, sort of this big Act 3, it's cool. So yeah, it's cool. It's keeping our attention for now. Alright guys, that's my review on chapter 882 of One Piece. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, like and subscribe, whatever, and I shall see you when I shall see you. Take care and bye.